Welcome to City Talk, a weekly conversation produced by the City of Waco to inform you about city events and projects. Each week, we'll bring you interesting topics with city staff and community leaders to highlight how Waco is an exciting place to live and work.
Hi, and welcome to City Talk. I'm Jessica Emmett, the Community Services Supervisor for the Waco-McLennan County Library, and I am joined by our Library Director, Essy. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we're just going to talk a little bit about what's going on at the library this fall. It's very exciting, always. We wrap up summer, which is one of our busiest seasons, and we transition into fall, and sometimes people think there's a little bit of downtime, but
never any downtime at the library.
Downtime, absolutely. So one of the really important things as we are kind of transitioning out of that summer period is that we reopened to our regular pre-COVID hours. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, that's right, Jessica. We just started the day after Labor Day, our regular hours, and that is every branch has an evening hour. Central has 3 evenings they're open. West has 2 evenings. East and South each have 1. And then all branches are now going to be open Saturdays. And Central is going to be open Sundays 1 to 5. Oh, wow. So we're back to those pre-COVID hours. Super excited to see everybody come in.
Yeah, so that's really excited. I know that it's going to be really convenient as kids went back to school for working on homework and different projects that people need to do kind of outside of those regular business hours. Right. So it's nice to transition back to that. Yes. Feels a little bit more normal.
It does. And we're also starting our programming. Mm-hmm. And so we do have programs after school for the kiddos. Every day of the week there's a program at a different branch. Mm-hmm. So you can go to your favorite one or try a new branch. That's always exciting to try a new branch, meet the new children's librarians there. And then we also have our Saturday programs, and we have evening programs for the kids and family story times at the West Waco branch. So we're trying to make sure that we hit everybody, the working moms and dads, the grandparents, the stay-at-home families, with the real little ones. Then we have some opportunities for our teens to come, and visit our new teen librarian and get to know her. And so we're super excited about all of those.
It's great that we have so much new staff. So we have a couple of new children's librarians who got hired during kind of the slower COVID time. So it's great to kind of debut them to everybody. And then our new teen librarian as well. So that's really nice that there's some new faces, but of course there's always some familiar faces when you come to the library as well. So that's really great. And so as far as our adult programming, so we do have adult programming.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's always really exciting. And that's restarting as well. And a lot of our adult programming is really popular. So
Absolutely.
we have a few things. It's not as many as the children's programs, but the ones that we do have are extremely popular. So we have our Books and Brews book club, which is meeting in person again. So that's pretty cool. And then we have our Crafty Adults program, and I think they only open about 12 or 15 spots for that, but it's always full. There's always a waiting list.
There's always a waiting list for that, and that's at the West Waco branch one Saturday a month. Mm-hmm. And you were talking about Books and Brews, and so I'm going to plug that a little bit because that's your baby, so I want to make sure that we give attention to that. And that is a book club that travels from different establishments around Waco. So we love the Waco community, and this is our way of giving back and introducing some of our patrons to new businesses around town. And so we'll go to restaurants and coffee shops, and it's a really nice way to have fun, get to know people, of course, talk about the books. Mm-hmm. But there's usually a really good crowd, and it's free and anybody can come.
Yeah, anybody. People always ask, how do you join? I go, you just show up.
Just show up.
So it's excellent. So we have a great time with that. And I know that in addition to reading books that maybe people wouldn't have chosen for themselves, which kind of helps expand your reading, but also people are visiting places in Waco and kind of being a tourist in your own hometown, which is such a cool concept. So we I know our tourism has increased, but it's good as a local to get out and explore too. So.
It is. I actually ended up going back to the one pizza place that we went to. Yeah. I never even knew it existed. I've been in Waco 6 years and didn't know about it. And then I went for the book club and ended up taking my husband back a couple weeks later. I said, this is a really cool pizza place we found. So it's good for everybody.
Absolutely. So another aspect of our adult programming is our Genealogy Center. We're really proud of our Genealogy Center. Absolutely. And Bill and Hannah do great work over there. So they have a big event coming up in October. So do you want to tell us just a little bit about the lock-in that's coming up?
Sure. They have an annual lock-in, and this is going to take place on October 15th. And this year it's slightly different. It's a hybrid between in-person and online. And the reason they're doing that is with all of the COVID and the pandemic restrictions, they just weren't sure if they were going to be allowed to have it in-house. And, it's hard to plan a big event like that. It takes a year to plan it and get some really good speakers. And so they decided to do a hybrid. So you can register online, through our website, which is super fast and easy. And when you do that, you'll get a link. And you can either stay home and watch the event from your home computer, or you can come into the library and watch it. They're going to have some nationally renowned speakers this year. They're so proud that they worked really hard to get these speakers. And if anybody out there knows anything about genealogists, they are going to have Judy Russell and Blaine Bettinger. And they're both famous, I believe. I'm not a genealogist, but I've heard wonderful things about these two. One specializes in legal issues surrounding genealogy, and then Blaine Bettinger is the guy who knows everything about DNA.
Okay.
And that's such a hot topic right now, and he's written books, which we have in our collection. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so if you register, you'll be given the link. So that's really nice because let's say you plan to come to the event in the library, but something happens that day, you can't make it, you won't miss it. You can just log on. But they also want to know if you're planning to come in-house, so they know how many chairs and tables to set up, how much space to give everybody. So we just ask everybody to please register online. Great. That's going to be a great event. Hannah and Bill are well known in the Texas State Library Association and a lot of the genealogy societies. And then this past year, Alicia Bell, their assistant, she has been doing a lot of programs virtually. And so when we asked her to do it online, she had never done anything like that before. And she just had such a great spirit. She just jumped right in and started doing crafts. And she's done an amazing job as well.
Yeah, we've done a whole series of crafts where people can highlight different things that they've collected in their family history research. So recipes, photographs, census things that you might not think are really cool to display, but she makes them look cool. Yeah, they end up being really nice. They make great gifts. So as people are kind of gearing up for the holiday season, they could
great idea.
Watch those videos, make something that's very gift worthy. So she does an awesome job and definitely has an enthusiasm for marrying those two things, which I think is awesome. And I also want to throw out there that one of the speakers at the lock-in is our very own Hannah from the Genealogy
we have to
Center.
Say that.
and she does a great job. And then the amazing thing about that is if you watch her video, you can come to the Genealogy Center and meet her and get an autograph. But you can get some advice, which I think is going to be really helpful, kind of to have that like virtual and live follow-up, which I think will be really cool. So that is on October 15th is when that's coming up, and it's going to be pretty much an all-day event. It starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. So people who are going to view it in person can register online ahead of time, but I know they are going to have day of registration at the event as well. So that's really cool. People who have been to the lock-in in the past, it might seem a little bit different.
It's going to be a little different. They're not going to have the outside organizations come just because of, with the pandemic, we weren't sure how to, provide the adequate spacing that we want everybody to feel safe. Yeah. So, it's less crowded, but it'll still be a great event.
Absolutely. Great amount of information. They always have so much information at the genealogy events, and they're doing, not only are they doing the lock-in, but they're doing their monthly brown bag programs as well. So they started those again. And that always kind of just is a little bit of a deep dive into a little kind of a more narrow focus. So instead of being the genealogy beginners class, which they do quarterly, which is such a broad topic, they'll pick something, and it might be DNA, it might be maps, it might be German ancestry. They do a lot of different things.
They've done a lot. Yeah.
So then they do kind of a deep dive for about an hour, and people can come and join. And so if you're thinking about getting into genealogy research, can seem a little daunting, the brown bag program is a great way to start that. Because it's kind of a quick one. So that's really nice.
I'll just tell a funny story. I took one of Bill's classes, and I knew nothing about genealogy, so I just took the class, and I got into it so much. I went home and I spent like the whole entire weekend researching everything. And I came to a standstill where I didn't know where to go. I had to find, I think it was my grandfather came over on a boat, and I think that he was a stowaway because I couldn't find his information anywhere. And I went back and said, Bill, I can't find him. And Bill said, oh, no, I think he was a stowaway. And I went, oh no, I have to go tell my mom now that her dad was a stowaway.
That's wonderful. Hey.
So you never know what you're going to find.
No matter what. That's awesome. See, yeah, genealogy. I mean, we always kind of use those metaphors of like finding clues or being on a journey, and that really is what it is.
It was crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's such a nice
event
thing that we can offer, a service that we offer, and they're open all the time, so people can go in and ask questions a la carte. But they schedule these programs, which is really good. And so like they work really hard on the lock-in every year, and I know they're really excited to.
It takes them a year to plan. I don't think anybody realizes it takes about a year to plan it.
So much organization.
So much work.
So bringing in people from all over. And the nice thing about that virtual format, like you said, is even with travel restrictions, but even just cost prohibitive to fly somebody in and do all of that can make it cost prohibitive. So we're going to get these really high quality speakers to come to this event in Waco, Texas, which is exciting.
We have people from out of state who will do presentations virtually. And so just think about the opportunity, because you wouldn't be able to see this guy otherwise, because like you said, I don't think he would fly here. We're not definitely taking everybody there.
Right.
So it's just a really neat way to let's go on a road trip. I think he's from Indiana, so it is pretty far.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. So one of the other staples of library life in the fall is our Friends of the Library book sale. And anytime I am doing City Talk a lot about the Friends, because
fabulous.
We just want to always show our appreciation for all the things that they do. And the book sale is coming up, and it's going to be November 4th through 7th. So that it's going to have kind of a similar format to what they've had in the past, where that first day you buy a wristband and you get that early admission. And if you're a member of the Friends, you get in for free, which is a nice perk. And I know that they just sent out their membership drive email. So we're trying to definitely recruit those members, and just in time for the book sale to get that free admission. So can you tell us just a little bit about like the Friends organization and what they do and who they are, that kind of thing?
Oh, we have the best friends group ever. I mean, I've been in libraries for over 20 years, and this is one of the best friends group I've ever worked with. They are so generous and so caring, and they love the library so much. And they're all, volunteers. So you think about that, how many people are out there volunteering their time, as busy as they are, to come and support an organization like the library. And so their book sale is their largest fundraiser, and they have, I think it's over 100,000 books, and it's going to be at the new base building at the Extraco Center. And so even if you don't want to really get any books, you still have to come check out this building because it's really pretty. And so come look at the building. The first day, like you said, you get the wristband. The second day and the days after that are free admission. And so you can come in. Books are, $1, $2. The children's books are by the inch. And so like they take the stack of kids' books, line them up with the ruler and go, okay, all of these books in this big pile for $2. And so that's so exciting to see the kids get the books, and then they go through them and pick them out. And then they also have something they call the Collector's Corner. And those are books that are a little bit more expensive. They might be your large table, coffee table books, books that have some kind of historical value, or they're just a little bit fancier. And so they put them over to the side, and they're a little bit more expensive, but they're still incredibly, cheaper than if you went to Amazon and tried to buy the same book. And so I also know Booker, our mascot, is going to be there. The Friends, the Friends actually paid for this mascot, and so he's going to make an appearance. So you bring your kids out to the book sale, or you, because I think we all have our pictures taken with Booker also. He's so much fun. And if you check our Facebook page right now, you'll see the mayor and his family met Booker recently, and so that was a lot of fun. So that's a great event, and it's a worthwhile cause, because you get you get very inexpensive books, and you get to support the library.
Yeah. And it's just in time for holidays. So I know for me that it's a great way if you have a lot of kids in your family, or even adults in your family that like to read, you can get really nice quality books. So I mean, even though they are donations, we spend a lot of time going through them and going, these are worth selling, as opposed to things that aren't worth selling. So
they have some brand new books.
Very nice.
Somebody read one time, a hardback book, a novel they've read one time, and then they're donated to the Friends. That is fabulous. It's a $25 book that you can get for $1.
Absolutely.
So can't beat that.
No, definitely. So that is one of the things that people really look forward to all year long.
All
we get
year
questions
long.
of when is it happening? And I'm like, it happens the same time every year, but people really, really like to know that that's coming up. And with things being so up in the air for the past, year and change, it's really great to kind of know that familiar activity is coming back. And like you said, we are going to bring Booker out, which is an awesome photo op for anybody of all ages. So he's going to be there for a couple of hours on that very first day, the opening day. So it's
Thursday.
Worth buying that wristband just to come and meet Booker. That's definitely a thing. And he's going to be out also at the farmers market leading up to. So we're going to go to the farmers market with the friends in October. So it's the third Saturday in October to help promote the book sale. And so that's a great chance to come out and meet Booker as well. And so we love taking him out, and he's so much fun. But our friends, they bought that for us. They have purchased some kits that we circulate now about that kind of highlight science and technology, which is such a great thing for kids. And we have, they bought our outreach van.
Oh, yeah.
Is what it's
Pop-up library.
It's been a little while, but we use it all the time, and it's great and recognizable. So we just always like to thank our friends any chance we get, basically, to make sure that people recognize that by supporting them, you're supporting us and helping us do those things that are like above and beyond what a state, just functioning. So so it's great. Basically, any of those kinds of extra programs that we do, the friends help us with summer reading club and all of that kind of stuff. So that's cool. Well, one of the other things that we have going on this fall is a fall reading challenge, which is really fun. So we end summer. We did our summer reading challenge, which is pretty traditional. People read and got prizes, and people really like to get prizes. and one of the trends, just in anything, is gamifying stuff. So even when you're tracking your steps and you're doing stuff and you kind of get those little rewards, it kind of helps people get motivated to maintain those good habits. So we want people to keep reading, and so we have a fall reading challenge, which is where people can track their minutes that they've read, and the app that we use, the Beanstack app, has a timer built in, which is pretty nice. Or you can just go, I read about 30 minutes, and put that in there, which is nice too. And then people can also track their activity. So on the website we say steps, but I know I've talked to a few people who said, walking or running is tough for them. So we allow any kind of movement. So if you're doing a recumbent bike, or if you're doing, it's swimming, whatever kind of movement.
Yoga count?
Yoga definitely counts. Any kind of activity. The whole idea is that those are kind of compounded good habits that you're reading and like building your mind, but then you're also keeping your body active, which is great. And we encourage people to use audiobooks for this.
Yes.
So you can walk and listen to an audiobook, and then you're like kind of double dipping, which is really nice. So you can kind of work towards those activity badges at the same time as you're working towards your reading badges. And so that's a really fun challenge, and it runs all the way through the end of the year. So fall into winter a little bit, but that way people have plenty of time. And I think the goals are really attainable. And so I think that's going to be really fun. And it's nice to, have people enjoy that and keep reading all year long. Because like I said, summer is definitely our busiest season, but we don't really slow down that much once fall happens.
Can I just talk about the prize?
Absolutely.
So I was working over at the West Waco branch when the prizes came in, and we were all oohing and ahhing over them, and we put them on, and we were like walking around with, it's like one of the little sleeves where you can put your phone and like your keys or whatever in it when you're walking.
Yeah.
And so we were just walking around with them on, like advertising for them. It was so much fun.
Yeah, they're very cute. You can see them on the website, or if you sign up for our online email newsletter, every single one of those that has gone out in the past couple of months has that in there. It has the picture. So people can definitely check that out. But it's on our website as well. So that way you know what you're working towards, which is super fun.
I wasn't going to sign up. I'm going to be honest. I was thinking about. I said I don't know if I want to sign up. I just got done reading and everything, and this is a busy time of the year for us. So I just said nah. But then when I saw the prize, I said no, I have to go do it.
If you're going to be reading and walking anyway, you might as well get prizes.
I might as well get prizes for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of our seasonal reading challenges, but we have a couple of ongoing reading challenges too that people can sign up for. And the cool thing is, if you're reading for this challenge, it actually counts towards other challenges too, potentially. So if you're doing 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten, which is our
great program.
which is one of our programs for our youngest library. They don't don't even have cards yet. Like they're little bitty, but they still, like to read and like to be read too. And so 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten is also part of the Beanstack app. All of those things are kind of grouped together in there. And then we also have our Great American Road Trip Challenge, which is just an ongoing challenge where people can hit goals by reading books that take place in or are about different regions of the United States. And so you can kind of just read what you want, but then when you go, that book was about the Southeast, Southeastern United States, great, ping, and then
click,
you got
credit
it.
for
So, it. It's really a lot easier than, it's not, but if you wanted to plan around the challenge, you could. But the nice thing is, as you're reading stuff, a lot of times you go, oh yeah, Pacific Northwest, sweet. I can
use
count
it.
that. Yeah. And so that one, the prizes for that are things that you might take on a road trip, like either a water bottle or a travel coffee mug. So makes sense, right? And then 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten has a lot of different kinds of prizes. There's a lot of good things for kids. So
and that actually helps the library meet at one of its goals, which is kindergarten readiness. So I know that we created a really awesome web page for kindergarten readiness. So I know in the city of Waco that's a huge goal, early literacy skills. And so we love to promote that and, tell parents this is one way to help their kids obtain the early literacy skills. Yeah,
and it's always important to remember that parents have that teaching responsibility before kids go into formal school. And
you're not teaching kids to read. It's more like, singing songs and, rhymes and dance and play and listening. And so I just think that that's so important for parents. I know when I was a new parent, I didn't realize that when I was just like driving down the road and I'd say, what's that sign? What color is that sign? Just small things like that help to prepare children to read. And I just think that we need to help parents understand that because it is so new. When you're a new parent, you don't know that.
Absolutely. And just hearing words is such a powerful thing. The more words and more different words that kids hear.
Singing those rhyming songs and all of that, jumping rope to the...
You start putting those things together, and those are the building blocks for being successful in school, being successful in the workplace, and so on and so forth. So those are really, it starts so early. So we love 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten. That's such a great program. And that's going on all the time. So if you have a kid or know a kid that's pre-kindergarten, then that's a great program to enroll them in.
Well, speaking of great programs, we have to talk about the National Sign Up for Library Card Month.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so this is an initiative from the American Library Association that libraries across the country participate in, and it's like National Library Card Sign Up Month? That's the official title. Yeah. And so I know that the Municipal Information just put together a fabulous video of all the city council members, and they were all in the libraries and they had their families with them, and they were talking about how much they love the library. And just today they posted the bloopers, so we have to tell everybody to go watch that because it was so funny. But they did a great job, and our city council totally supports the library, and I think that we really definitely have to give a shout out to them because we couldn't do what we do without their support. So with the city council and the city management team, they jumped right on board and said absolutely. In our board, we have a library board. You came and took a video of them saying, "I got my library card. Do you have yours?" And so it's a really fun way to get other people involved in promoting the library. Yeah. So got to make sure we give a shout out to them.
Absolutely. And so we tried to find VIPs in the community who had their library cards and talked a little bit about how they use them, what they're useful for, that kind of thing, and what they love about the library. And so the great thing about having a library card is anybody can.
Exactly.
And it makes you a VIP too.
Yes.
So then we can have a whole city full of VIPs. Absolutely. Because everybody, no matter who you are, when you come in with that library card, you have all the same things open to you.
Yep.
The same collection, the same services. It's all ready for everybody, which I think is wonderful. So I think, that's such a cool campaign, and we try to acknowledge it every year and really encourage people to get library cards. So anybody age 5 and over can get a library card that lives in McLennan County, and it's totally free.
Yes.
So that's pretty nice, and that's something that I definitely encourage people to do. And I know that when kids come in and it's close to that 5th birthday, and they're ready and they get their own library card, a lot of times they send us pictures and we share those, cute. And it's awesome, and they're so proud, and it's kind of a nice level of independence it's pretty low risk, fairly low risk, but kids can choose their own books and they can check them out themselves, and that's a pretty nice thing to as a little rite of passage. So
we give out little stickers that say, I got my library card today.
Absolutely.
And we even give them to adults. We've had some adults ask
nice.
for them.
You get the
like
stickers too.
Walking around with their sticker.
That's awesome. So again, it's gamifying. It's giving
It
those
is,
little rewards.
exactly,
It's that
exactly.
kind of thing. So everybody's definitely very into that. Well, I think that is pretty much
That covers
fall at
everything.
the library.
Just for this month.
Yeah, basically. So as we're going into our fall season, it's nice to acknowledge the new things that are happening as summer winds down and fall kicks in, and then kind of some of those ongoing things people might not know about, like 1,000 Books Before Kindergarten.
Yeah,
that's always going on, but we like to give little reminders, and so I would just say, thank you for joining me, Essy Day, our library director, and
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and so like I said, always enjoyable to talk about the library. That's my passion.
Yes.
Your passion. So it's great for us to be able to kind of chat with everybody about that. And so in closing, I'm Jessica Emmett, the Community Services Supervisor of the Waco-McLennan County Library. I was joined by our library director, Essy Day, and that is it. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed City Talk, a production of the City of Waco. Catch this program on local radio stations on Sunday mornings at 6:30 a.m. Find the podcast on your favorite podcast streaming service by searching City of Waco, or view it online at wccc.tv.